Yes, people, it's your boy Fred Stones back again, back at you with another one, another installment. Yes, can you see me? Can you see me, people? Hope you can see me. Main thing, I want you to feel me. You have to feel me. So, a good friend of mine sent me this video yesterday. It's a video of Adrian Durham. Adrian Durham's a highly regarded talksport presenter, and basically in this video he highlights the racial discrimination in football and how it's just so evident, because he even comes with facts. Do you know what I'm saying? But there's still people that will sit there and deny these facts. Let's go, people. Listen to what he says. This is very powerful, and this is not the first time he's done something like this. This guy, like, I think he's very pro-black. I'm not even gonna say he's pro-black, but he's someone that sees discrimination and he highlights it, rather than all the people that they know what's going on, but they just choose to ignore it. Let's go.
Let me introduce you to the elephant in the room as well, and it's important we talk about this. The one you're all avoiding, the one John Barnes has spoken so intelligently about in recent weeks, the unconscious racism that I want to bring up here. Let's get this clear for everyone.
I don't think the racism is unconscious. In my opinion, it's not unconscious racism. Like, I respect everything he's saying, but this is just my opinion. I don't think it's subconscious. I think everything, the way the system is, it's been systematically and strategically been put in place to be like that. And it's worked out perfect. It's worked out perfect. It's only when people like him, intelligent people like him, can see like the lines where the division is. Do you know what I'm saying? And they'll point it out. A lot of other people see it, but they won't point it out because they benefit from the system. You know? That's why I highly commend this guy for what he's doing. He has nothing to gain from this. Nothing to gain from this. But he's still doing it. Massive respect to someone like that.
Not saying anyone involved in making this decision is a racist, okay? It's more nuanced than that. It's an issue that deserves deeper thinking, doesn't deserve knee-jerk nonsense. If you're already sneering listening to this, it's probably because you're scared to have the discussion. And if that's the case, then okay, for now, don't talk. Just listen to what's being said. Maybe educate yourselves. We can't change things for the better unless we all face up to ourselves and the flaws that we all have. So try it, okay? I believe in their mind's eye, nobody at West Brom could picture Darren Moore being successful because there are so few black managers who have been successful. Because
see, you hear what he said? In their eyes, they never thought he would be successful because we're painted out as failures, monkeys, violent, aggressive, and all these other negative connotations that's attached to black people. Not success. Success is not attached to us at all. Even though we are very... for all the people that's not black, that's watching this, everything they say of black people is totally wrong. Totally wrong. These stereotypes is just false. They're totally false. There's a lot of smart, clever black people out there. Yes, there's a lot of ignorant black people out there. Just like there's ignorant white people, there's ignorant Asian people, there's ignorant in every race. This is, you know, but don't outcast one race and say, oh, they all like this. It's not fair. It's really not fair. And we've been fighting against the system for years.
There are so few black managers in English football. So all they see is white manager lifting trophy season after season in this country. Therefore, there is a subliminal, unconscious mindset that only white is successful. This is going to be...
Again, I don't think it's subliminal, and I don't think it is subliminal, but I don't think it's unconscious. In my opinion, I don't think it's unconscious. That's just my opinion.
A hard thing for a lot of people to take on board, but in the last 10 years, let me prove it. Last 10 years,
listen to the statistics.
Only 2 black managers have been successful in the championship in terms of promotion. So from the 30 promoted clubs in that time, only 2 black managers have been successful. Did anyone at West Brom ever
So in the last 10 years, out of the 30 clubs that's been promoted, only 2 black managers. One of the main reasons being because they don't even get a chance to be managers in the first place. Black people don't get a chance to be managers. Like, the other manager that has been successful, that he's talking about, is a manager called Chris Houghton. He's currently managing at Brighton and Hove FC. This guy has brought 2 championship teams up to the Premiership. 2. Norwich and Brighton, but yet doesn't get the recognition. In football, to bring 2 championship teams up to the Premier League is a great thing. It's huge. He's huge. Listen, I'm a Liverpool supporter. Brendan Rodgers was a previous Liverpool manager. He brought Swansea up. And after strength of bringing Swansea up, he was praised so much. He was such a great person. He came to Liverpool. He became a manager at Liverpool. And that's just from taking Swansea up. And from Liverpool, he went to Rangers, which is a top team in Scotland. And after that, currently, he's managing at Leicester. So from doing such greatness, he was recognised by his white peers. But Chris Houghton has done double the greatness, but still don't get no recognition. I'm a man, I watch football a lot. This guy's name does not come up in any football conversations when they're talking about managers. Eddie Howe's name will come up first before Chris Houghton's name. Do you know what I mean?
Genuinely feel confident in Darren Moore. Now, the analysis gets even more damning. Listen to this. The West Brom board's statement said Moore had failed to achieve, quote, consistency of form and results. West Brom have won 8 of their last 10 away games. How can he be sacked with that run? So they're talking rubbish. Here's my opinion. They didn't want to appoint him in the first place, but he was so good at the end of last season, they had to appoint him. So the first sign of anyone moaning...
They didn't want to appoint him. They didn't. He was meant to be like a caretaker manager, but he was so good, like Solskjaer is at Man United right now. He was so good, like, they had to keep him. Imagine, like, Solskjaer at Man United right now, yeah? He has lost, I think it's about 3 or 4 games now since he's been at Man United. Imagine Man United turning around now and saying, after all the great stuff you've done, just for the little bit of bad stuff you've done, we're going to sack you. It hasn't happened to Solskjaer, so why is it happening? Why is it happening to this guy? Because he's black.
They've sacked him because they could not wait to sack him. The West Brom fans had been moaning about Tony Pulis for months and months and months before he was sacked. Tony Pulis was the manager and they'd lost 7 of the last 9 games in the 2016-17 season. And he still hung on till the November and was sacked after 12 without a win. Alan Pardew came in. Didn't win any of his first 8 games, oversaw a relentless charge towards relegation, took his players on a jolly to Spain where they nicked a taxi, got drunk till the early hours. There were all sorts of unprofessional allegations on Pardew's watch, and he still didn't get the sack after that. Nope. It took a run of 8 defeats on the trot when there were 10 points.
Are you hearing this? This is a white manager, yeah? 8 defeats on the trot and all these other allegations when he took his players on holiday and stuff, yeah? Nothing.
Adrift with 6 games left before they finally sacked the hopeless, clueless Alan Pardew. And yet this guy, Darren Moore, the guy whose tactical brilliance saw West Brom beat Spurs, win away at Man United, get a draw with a Liverpool side that was rampant at the time, his baggy side thrash Bielsa's...
In football terms, these are amazing. To beat Tottenham, to beat Man United and get a draw with Liverpool. These are like top 4 clubs in the Premier League. Like, no recognition. Still get sacked. Like, we've got to work twice, triple, quadruple as hard just to even get leveled to a white person. It's crazy. It's not fair. It's crazy. When we talk about it, we moan. So I'm glad when someone like this is talking about it, because you can't say, oh, he's just complaining, because they always say us black people complain. He's not black. So what he's saying, what? Is he complaining?
Leeds 4-1. They won at Norwich. They won at Sheffield United. They put 7 past QPR. He's been sacked after 2 defeats and a draw. We will never know if West Brom would have got promoted under Darren Moore. Now, the truth is, it took West Brom months to sack 2 white managers who were laying the foundations for certain relegation, and yet the black manager who won more than half his league games in charge of West Bromwich Albion is sacked after a run of 2 defeats and a draw. Now, if this isn't an example of what John Barnes was talking about, I do not know what is. It's the most disgusting sacking of recent times. It's incredibly damaging to the fight for more respect and opportunity for black coaches and managers in English football, and the decision makers at West Bromwich Albion should be ashamed of themselves. If after hearing all of this...
Black coaches and managers, yeah, and even players don't get the respect they deserve. Why do I say this? You know, I was listening to LBC. It was about a month or two ago, and there were when the whole Raheem Sterling thing came up. Yeah, I remember someone called into LBC to talk to James O'Brien. I think he was a psychologist or a doctor. It was a very smart person, and he said basically, yeah, this is not my words. This is his words. The psychology in football is that black players are not smart enough. Therefore, that's why in football you don't see a lot of black players get captaincy, because they're not seen as playing that lead role, that main role. A captain in the role of football, like, he's the leader. So black people are not seen as leaders. They're used in like on the wings as strikers or defense in strong positions, but they will never be used in captaincy position. Obviously, there's exceptions to every rule. There's one or two black people like John Barnes himself, who was a captain and all that stuff, but there's not a lot of them. There's not. Think about how many great black players there's been in the Premier League, and how many of them really have been captains. And when this guy said this thing on LBC, I was like, wow. Basically, black players are just used for their attributes. In the psychology in the Premier League is that they're not smart enough to play that central role. That's why a lot of them are not even midfielders. Because, do you know what I'm saying? Anyway.
You still want to pretend it's about Darren Moore's tactics, then remember Pardew and Pulis. If your initial reaction to what I've just said is to utter the words, well, there's nothing to do with race, then you haven't studied the issue forensically enough.
That's what they always say. It has got nothing to do with race. That's why I'm so glad a white man's bringing it up. And you know why I think this guy personally is bringing it up here? Because he's ginger. He's suffered prejudice before. We all know how this society treats ginger and redhead people. Like, he's suffered discrimination before. So he knows what discrimination looks like when he sees it and smells it. And he smells it. And he's highlighting it. Rate this guy highly.
The managerial revolving door applies to every manager. I get that, but it does seem to speed up for black managers, doesn't it? Darren Moore's sacking is massively, massively out of order.
It's out of order. Very, very out of order, people. And that's all I got to say on this one. Like, it's not a fair society. It never has been. And I don't know if it ever will be. I remember when I was young, like, me and my friends, so many black people can tell you, well, black boys anyway, can tell you the same stories. Police have stopped us so many times. They say, oh, you match a description of a robbery. You match a description of a burglary and all this stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, systematically, the system has been programmed to treat black people in this way. And I don't know how we can undo all these mental damages, but it's not fair on black and ethnic minorities, because as he just said himself, we have to fight twice as hard, but we're all human beings. We all breathe the same air and bleed the same blood. But why must some live a harsher life than the rest? It's not fair. Anyway, people, let me know what you think of this, and if you like my new setup, if you think I should do stuff like this more often. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm out. Back again. All right.